Hey guys, we have the Microsoft Surface Pro 3 again. This time we're going to be installing the back, and we're going to start with the top. To start the install, you don't want to peel the skin off the wax backing, you want to peel the wax backing off the sticker by placing the skin face down. Once you have it completely off the wax backing, you want to get a feel for the skin and see how it lines up. Once you can see that it's a precise cut and it will align to your back of your device, you want to realign it to your wax paper. And you want to leave the 3 sensors on top exposed, along with one of the sides. So it's going to sort of expose a L shape. So you want to start at the sensors and the camera as your pivot point, and that's going to see if you're going to have the back skin of the top aligned correctly. You also want to inspect if it's going to overhang or if there's going to be somewhat of a large gap on the side that's exposed from the wax paper. Once everything lines up, you want to press that L shape down so it will stick to the device. This gap here should be a little less or equal to the gap of the sides. I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can get a better look. That little gap right there is so that the door can open freely and that it won't rub against the skin and damage it. Alright, we're going to zoom back out and we're going to continue on with the installation. Now you want to gently lift it up and remove the wax paper. You want to do this in step increments just to make sure that as you're applying the top back skin, that it stays aligned the whole length of the way down. And it also makes that if you have to adjust, as we do here, you don't have to lift the whole skin off the back. Alright, we have the same gap here as we do on the other side. We are now ready to remove the rest of the wax paper. And as you do so, just make sure you press down completely of the top skin and make sure that you remove any air bubbles that may have built up underneath. Now that we have this section completed, we're going to move to the bottom of the back skin. To install this section, we're going to follow the same methods. You want to remove the wax paper from the skin face down, and then reapply the wax paper in an L shape. But before you do that, you want to make sure which direction that the skin will be applied on. Now that we have the wax paper back on, we're going to line up the exposed corner. And remember, there will be a slight gap, like I explained earlier. Once that side looks aligned, you can start to move your way down along the longer side. And make sure that you can feel that it's not overhanging and that you have your gap for the door. And now you want to shimmy the wax paper over and make sure that you double check the opposite side. This install is going perfectly as usual, but just in case that you constantly lift it up and down as I'm doing so here, it will be longer on one side. So just try to prevent that as much as possible. And as you place it back down, just make sure that it doesn't overhang and that you have that slight gap. But as you see here, we might have stretched it in our demonstrative purposes. If that's the case, you just want to align that edge. There will be a slight bubble in the middle, but if you split it, you'll be able to press it out. Now we remove the rest of the wax paper, and we'll just press out the air bubbles that may have built up underneath. And then one final check to see if it overhangs, and it doesn't. This is the Royal Primavera, and you can see the slight silver border around all the compartments of the back. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and until next time. Now this was the skin kit for the Microsoft Surface Pro 3. Also available is the wrist guard, as you can see here on the Touch Cover 3. The trackpad is active, it does work. And there's also a keyboard area that border is covered. And along with those two items, there is the back as well, which comes in two sections.